Hey, Cooter!
Joe!
Check this out. There's Anywhere But Here, man, on this here podcast.
Oh, I like me some podcasts, man.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about Anywhere But Here.
What's Anywhere But Here? Anywhere But Here in Mississippi?
No, man, Anywhere But Here over in England.
Hey, we ain't in England.
I know, but that's where the England's from.
What?
Hey, Cletus, remember when we went and saw that movie about the wars in the stars and they had like lightsabers and stuff like that? Well, these people here talk about things we like.
Really?
I guarantee.
Well, hot diggity damn. What we waiting for?
Anywhere But Here podcast.
Hello and welcome to Anywhere But Here. This is episode 34. I'm Tom.
Amen.
And before we start and get into the main meat of the episodes, let's do the spiel that's getting so boring and old for everyone who's been listening for the last 34 episodes.
Yeah, but it doesn't take us 10 minutes to get through it anymore.
Not anymore, no. As long as we don't flannel like we are now.
Yes.
We have a website. It's abhpod.com.
We have, let's go for YouTube this week. youtube.com/ABH podcast, where you can see the video of us recording the audio.
You can get in touch with us at Gmail. It's abhpod@gmail.com.
You can get in touch with us in 140 characters or less on Twitter at ABHpod.
You can, or individually, I am at Hey It's Me Tom.
And I'm Hey It's Ant.
And we've got a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/abhpod.
Yeah. Yes, just pod. Yeah, that's all the contacts, isn't it?
Yeah. Also on the website, we've got a banner to Amazon.co.uk up there, so you can do your Christmas shopping through that banner, and we get a little bit of money because you know, it's nice to help people out every now and then, and.
Despite what you think, this isn't free. For us,
not
at least.
for us, no. Yeah, so basically it doesn't cost you anything more for your shopping, and we get a little bit of money towards next year's hosting fees.
Or any equipment we might need. Yeah, and on the website also, if you just go to abhpod.com, the banner in the middle for completing a survey, just to let us know your shopping habits. I don't know why.
And also you can comment on the stuff that you like and that you don't like. If you don't want to do it, or if you do want to do it anonymously rather than tell us through Facebook or Twitter, you can do it through that survey.
Yeah. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, and we try and tailor the podcast to suit our fans as much as possible. Fans.
Oh no, don't say that.
Why did that just came out? That was really weird.
That's really pretentious.
Our listeners. Sorry.
Ooh.
But yeah, and if you don't want to remain anonymous, go and comment on iTunes and Stitcher and Twitter and no, not Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah, or DM us on Twitter or whatever, you know.
Just anything.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right, well, we're going to get into
3 minutes.
Yeah,
Boom.
Get in. Fastest one yet, world record. So, yeah, we're going to get into some news now. What are we going to start with? The big technological news this week was, of course, well, there were two. There was the iOS 7 update. Yes,
and the iPhone releases, wasn't it? Yeah, the iOS 7 update. I think the iPhone releases, I mean, I gave my opinion on those last week. You know, meh.
Indeed.
And I saw one, I was like, yeah, it looks just like the iPhone 5 with a little silver circle around the home button. That was for the fingerprint scanner. The fingerprint scanner does work. The guy demonstrated it to me, and it's kind of cool. Like I said, you can still put the passcode in as well. But he also told me you can have more than one person's fingerprints associated with the phone.
Oh, so what's the point? Well, I mean, it's when,
like if somebody picks it up, it's just an extra security measure. But it's kind of like if somebody knows how to hack through the passcode anyway, fingerprint scanner's not going to stop them.
No, not really.
Because you can still put the passcode in. But it's just another kind of expensive gimmick, and it's something else to go wrong on the phone. So doesn't mean I don't want one though. Because I just like Apple products. But iOS 7 itself, I've got to say, I'm impressed. It does work really well, and everyone thinks it slows their phones down. I don't know if it's just because I've got a 4S, but my phone's been working just as fast, if not a bit faster. The only thing is, and I kind of thought it was one of those things that was really cool to start with, but the fucking animations are getting on my tits.
Right.
Like when you open an app now, it kind of like flies at you, and when you close it, it shrinks, and then when you change things, it kind of keeps doing all this fancy
everything
shrinking.
whizzes about.
And maybe that's why it seems quicker. Because you've got the animation, so there's something happening before the app actually launches.
Yeah. Do you think that's it kind of stalling for time?
It could be, but it's getting on my nerves. And like, I mean, I think the multitasking looks a lot better because you can actually see a preview of what you're doing now. But they changed a lot of things, and there was nothing when you done the update that says, "Oh, the way you used to do this, now do this," which they could have easily built into the software.
There was no tutorial.
There's videos on the Apple website, but not everyone goes to it. So that when you used to close apps in the multitasking, you used to kind of get to the app and you used to hold the icon and press the cross to close it. Now, which makes more sense, but they didn't tell you, you swipe the app to make it go away.
Oh, but they didn't tell you that.
No.
No.
But, it looks good, but the animations are starting to get on my nerves a lot.
Because there were a couple of people who were complaining about it at work this week. They were like, "Oh, it took ages to download, and now it looks rubbish." Or
yeah, but it took ages to download because they wanted to do it on the first day that it was released when everyone else was doing it.
Well, yeah, of course.
I understood that, which is why I put on our Facebook, "Can everyone stop updating so I can update mine, please?" Because I needed to go to sleep. And I needed to set my alarm so I couldn't just leave it to go.
That's a good point.
So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it takes ages to download. You've got to expect that when there's millions of people in the world.
Well, yeah, I mean,
doing
think
the same
about how many
thing.
people have got, these phones,
Yeah, but
these Apple phones.
I like it, but it's a bit. Sorry, I'm going to hide that my microphone on my headset. But yeah, it's good. It is good, and it does work. It seems to work better, and it does seem more intuitive to me.
People.
I was worried, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, people get used to it in time. It's
just,
like everything else.
Just gives my phone a new lease of life, so I'm not so worried about updating my phone.
Yeah.
But I still do want to.
The other, really important thing that happened in the world of technology this week was GTA 5.
Oh, yes.
That got released this week, and everyone went fucking mental.
And didn't we hear about it constantly, and aren't we still hearing about it?
I am bored now. I probably won't buy the game because of the amount of people who are talking about it and like bigging it up. Because my problem is, if things get bigged up, I then expect so much of them that I'm only ever disappointed by them. Like the first time it properly happened for me was the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Everyone ranted and raved about how brilliant it was and how it changed the face of cinema forever. And I went in and I was like, well, why?
Were you the same as me? Kind of like, it was good.
Yeah, it was nothing better than good.
But it's
And actually,
Spider-Man.
yeah, exactly.
I mean,
his villains are always really nice people who get a little bit waylaid and then they learn their lesson by the end of the film.
I do like Spider-Man, but it is kind of like...
He's a bit too goody-goody.
I mean, The Amazing Spider-Man, the new film,
yeah, that
I thought was a much, much better. And it might not be true to Spider-Man, the comics, but...
It's more to do with the Ultimate Spider-Man rather than the Amazing Spider-Man.
I really prefer that. 'Cause it's like everything, it's a darker version of the hero.
Yeah.
I think. And I really liked that version of Spider-Man. But yeah, the Tobey Maguire one, I was like, meh.
But also, Tobey Maguire, didn't...
He was a good Peter Parker, he wasn't a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Andrew Garfield has got that cockiness that Spider-Man actually has.
Yeah.
He's got
he can pull it off a lot better.
Yeah. I thought he was just a better.
He sounds a lot more sarcastic, whereas Tobey Maguire sounds like he's trying to sound sarcastic.
Yeah, because he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's quite bland.
Taking nothing away from Tobey Maguire.
No, he's all right.
Yeah,
but he was good in The Great Gatsby, actually.
Fucking
But
GTA 5.
We're getting ahead of ourselves because we're getting off topic. But yeah, apparently it's broken the world record for the fastest selling
over
video
$1 billion
game.
in 3 days.
It's crazy.
Like it cost $270 million to make, which is more than most films.
Yeah.
But
then
it's
they
made
are...
$1 billion in 3
insane,
days.
Isn't it? It's totally insane.
It's understandable. It's a great franchise, and the game looks... Have you seen any of it?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Because as much as it pisses me off, I do love watching the YouTube videos because people do... But I'm not watching people playing the game, I'm watching people fucking about on the game.
Yeah, that's right.
Because to me, that's what GTA is.
Yeah, it's going around shooting people and stealing cars and...
Yeah, and
killing prostitutes.
And after you fuck them to get the money back. And if you buy the special edition, you get a blimp. And people have been flying about in that. And it looks like visually it is amazing. It is fantastic. And I really do hope they release the next gen versions.
I'm sure they will.
They've not confirmed it, have they?
No, because they did that whole thing of like, oh no, it'll only be on the PlayStation 3. And now there are rumours because everyone went out to buy it on the PS3. Yeah. Now there's rumours they're going to release it on the PS4 as well, which they said they weren't going to do originally.
But I think PlayStation are doing this thing. I don't know. I don't know if Microsoft are doing it as well. But PlayStation, they're actually, if you buy like FIFA 14 on your PS3, you get a code with it. So when you get your PS4, you can download the PS4 version.
Oh, right. See, that's a good idea.
So they might do that with GTA. Well, no, because if you haven't got the code in the game, how do you know?
Unless they.
But when you play
it,
when you play the disc version on the PS3, you stick the disc in and you enter a code on the PlayStation Store, which gives you the download on your account for when you get the PlayStation.
Oh, right. Well, maybe they'll do that for GTA 5.
I hope so.
Because let's face it, it's going to take forever to complete it.
How many more billions do they need to make?
Well,
Exactly. It does look fantastic, and I really wish I had the time for those sorts of games.
Me too. I don't feel like I've got the time for it anymore. So
I'm trying as much as I can to play Red Dead Redemption, because you suggested it, which I am enjoying. But it's finding the time to fucking do it.
Yeah, it is. It's a big story. It does take a while. So yeah, I mean, you know,
while we're on the subject of games, actually, you're playing Portal 2
I am
now.
playing Portal 2 because you lent it to me.
And is it not like one of the best games you've played?
It's horribly addictive.
But
I found myself staying up till some stupid time in the morning on work nights because I'm like, I need to beat this level.
It's great.
It is a really good game, and eventually we might start playing that co-op when I buy my own version.
Yeah.
And yeah,
and you might hear something about that
later on. Yes, it could be a new thing. In other news, because I don't know what else to say about GTA 5 really.
No, it's getting on my tits.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, but with good reason.
Can we all just agree to stop talking about it in the workplace?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it while I'm trying to get on with work because A, it makes me resent you.
Because I want to.
Yeah, and B, it makes me want to quit work and play games for the rest of my life.
But also it makes you not want to play GTA 5 because you can't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah. It puts me off when people are all raving about things.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. iOS 7 and GTA 5.
Yeah.
The huge...
For the entertainment news. Oh, entertainment news. Let's go with entertainment, shall we?
Oh, fuck it, why not?
Kanye West, in an interview with Zane Lowe this week, described himself as the #1 rock star on the planet.
He's a...
How? How are you the #1 rock star on the planet?
Well, how are you in the #1 anything?
Well, yes, there is
and
that.
And how are you a rock star? And how the fuck, if you are saying that, are you on this planet?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just so many things wrong with that statement. First off, rock star. Do you play guitar? Are there guitars? Are there live band elements to your recording?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure there are.
I don't know. He might be one of those ones that does though.
Well, no, because he was on Jules Holland this week as well, and I watched a bit of Jules Holland because Kings of Leon were on there, and their new stuff. I'm actually like their last album was utter bobbins.
Oh really? Bobbins,
yeah.
I like that.
And the new stuff actually sounds quite good. It sounds like they're going back a little bit more rocky.
Oh really?
A little bit more rock and rolly. So I was watching them. Who else was on there? Sting was on there.
It's Jules Holland. You don't need an excuse to watch Jules Holland. To be fair, if you're a music fan and you've never watched Jules Holland, then fuck you.
Where have you been? It's also being recorded in Maidstone Studios nowadays.
Is it?
Yeah. It's not in London anymore.
I've actually seen Jules Holland,
but
in
tickets
Maidstone.
are booked up for
ever
years. But yeah, he was on there, Kanye West, and he did a couple of songs on there, but one of them was called Bound 2, the number 2.
Yeah.
And it just it's hard to describe. Well, first off, there wasn't a band there. Right. There was him, a backing singer, and a DJ. So not a rock band behind him. That
usual setup without the backing singer. If you replace the backup singer for a hype man, then you've got a hip hop star, not a rock star.
Yeah. No, this was a backing singer. He was from another band, but I can't remember their name.
Oh, okay.
It was like a classic R&B type.
Oh, okay. He's going R&B,
but like contemporary R&B, but from the 90s kind of thing.
Not Boys to Men.
Yeah. And this song Bound 2, it was basically the whole song was a set of vocal samples that were the melody.
Yeah.
There was also this fella singing a vocal piece for the chorus line.
Right.
There was what I can only assume was a sample of Kim Kardashian saying something.
Oh.
And then there was him rapping over it, and it just sounded like a melodious argument.
It was all going on at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, the whole melody was a vocal melody of, like, oohs and ahs and ums.
Do you think, actually, you're saying there was a Kim Kardashian sample on it? It's called Bound 2. Does that mean he can't fucking escape now because they've got a kid
Pretty
together?
much, yeah. But yeah,
And that's probably, it might be really clever. Like, he is bound to Kim Kardashian now because they've got a kid, he can't escape. Yeah. And the whole like clash of voices might just be like what it's like to live with them, to be part of that
to be
family.
part of the Kardashians.
It's fucking a cry for help, isn't it?
Maybe it is. Maybe it was a sadder song than I first gave credit to. Yeah, but no, it just sounded like a fucking mess. I mean, I'm not a Kanye West fan anyway.
No, I mean, some songs he's done you can't deny. Like when he done Diamonds from Sierra Leone was catchy as fuck.
I don't even know if I've ever heard that.
That's the Diamonds Are Forever one.
Yeah, see, I don't know whether I've heard it. I steer clear of him because I think he's a nasty
You know, I mean, some of his stuff you can kind of appreciate. And you can appreciate the talent.
Oh, no, of course,
but
yeah,
if
yeah.
you're not a fan of it...
I'm not saying he's untalented, I just don't like him
and that
or his
particular
music.
song just...
Yeah, and that just... And then the statement as well that came along.
It's a complete toss-pot.
Yeah, basically.
I can't really put it nicely.
I prefer Jay-Z. Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah.
Jay-Z.
JZ, yeah, we're not American.
But yeah, so that was a ridiculous... If you want to hear the whole interview, they're doing a 4-part interview on Zane Lowe's show, Monday to Thursday this week on Radio 1.
God. Did he let Zane Lowe speak to him?
I
or
would
to
doubt
anybody?
it. Because the thing is, they did it for...
Oh, come on. Are you going to leave that hanging?
What? I missed it.
I said, is he going to let Zane Lowe speak to him? Or anybody he knows?
Don't even speak to yourself.
No.
Or anyone, ever.
Yeah. Fucking no. If you don't know what that was about, it was something he said to a journalist, wasn't it?
Paparazzi type. Yeah, journalist.
He told him basically never to speak
to anyone or let anyone else speak to anyone else.
Yeah, tell everyone never to speak to anyone. Fucking
knob. But yeah, so that's on the Zane Lowe show all this week because they did it for Jay-Z.
Yeah,
when he released his last album, and obviously, you know,
wasn't it Jay-Z? Wasn't it Jay-Z and Kanye West the last one? Or no, he released one since?
It was just Jay-Z. Yeah, there was one because he released an album earlier on this year.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they did do one together, the whole album, wouldn't they? The Watch the Throne. Yeah,
actually, is that this album? I don't know. This is because Kanye West one is Yeezus, isn't it?
I don't care.
No, but they just interviewed Jay-Z for that.
We can't do it. We can't
keep it up. Yeah. So that's all this week on Radio 1. If you're really interested on how he's going to claim that he is the #1 rock star on the planet, when in fact he is an up himself rapper who makes the occasional good hit.
In summary, he's a tosser.
That's the entertainment news.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I was meant to bring this up earlier about PlayStation 4. Just something that I didn't realise that PlayStation 4 are doing. If you want to play multiplayer now online, you have to be a PlayStation Plus member.
Oh, really?
It used to be free, didn't it? But now they're kind of saying. I think it's just like because online multiplayer has always been better on the Xbox because they've had Xbox Live memberships where you pay, and that pays for like dedicated Xbox servers, so you've got a more like reliable connection. I think PlayStation are going that way now as well.
Okay.
But I'm already a PlayStation Plus member, so it doesn't matter to me.
I've been looking into... I've got to get PlayStation Plus because I want to save all the stuff from my profile at the moment.
In cloud, yeah. Because you don't want to lose everything again.
No, exactly.
But yeah, is it... I think it's like £35
a year.
$40 a year, £35 a year, which is nothing.
It's not much.
Really. But like with PlayStation Plus, you get like 3 games, 3 free games a month to download.
Yeah.
Whereas I think on Xbox at the minute you only get 1.
True.
So I'm already a member. It's not really doesn't make a difference to me, but I didn't realise they were doing that. That was just kind of buried somewhere in an article.
Yeah, obviously they didn't make a big deal of that at E3, did they? When they were trying to make out that Xbox were after your children.
Yeah, and I've actually shortlisted 5 games that I want on release, so that's like 250 quid.
Well, there you go.
But I've narrowed it down to 3.
But that's okay because it'll keep you going for a year.
And none of them are Call of Duty.
No.
I think it was Battlefield. There was like a zombie one.
Right.
Zombies mixed with Mirror's Edge, which looks fucking incredible. Can't remember the name of it now.
Ooh.
Yeah, and another one. I've lost it.
Oh, rubbish.
Fuck it, never mind. But yeah, there was that which I didn't know about. So that's entertainment news.
Yeah, righto. Gonna go dark now.
Yeah.
I think. This week, when was it? Let's have a look. Well, of course, there wouldn't be a date where I expect there to be a date. Why would there be? Yeah, September the 18th. So that was what, Wednesday? Wednesday, yeah.
Let's go. Let's go with Wednesday.
It's just nasty. Basically, what happened? This woman, Amanda Hutton, has been on trial, and she's been put on trial because back in September of 2011, her son's remains were found in a bedroom in her house.
Oh, yeah.
Now it gets pretty fucking weird because, like, this kid was 4.5 years old on December 15th, 2009, when he died.
Jesus. And he was found in 2011.
Yes, he'd been there for 2 years.
Oh my God.
And what had happened was, well, it's all coming out in court at the moment, but she's basically saying that, well, the kid had starved to death, basically, and he had stunted growth. The clothes that he was found wearing were for like a 9-month-old. And he still fit into them.
That's fucking.
And yeah, it's just it's a pretty horrible story, but it just yeah. You can't get your head around the fact that someone would leave their kids to to waste away like that. It's just
if you didn't want the fucking kid, just take it somewhere and give it to someone.
Yeah,
Don't
and I mean,
fucking starve it.
Like, how is it that
the worst thing is, that kid was probably sat there while the mum was eating a fucking McDonald's or something, smoking a fag. It's just like, even if you like we said last week, McDonald's is bad for you. But feed your kid that instead of fucking starving it. Yeah,
and the worst thing about it was that the jury was told that within hours of her son's death, she went out, ordered a pizza, and continued to claim the child benefit for him.
That's fucking like
all these years. Yeah, so the body of the kid was found after the police after a police community support officer had become concerned about the smell coming from her house, which was also full of flies. And what they basically they found the house in a conditions of squalor.
Yeah.
There was a cot in the bedroom of Amanda Hutton where the kid was discovered. But within that cot, beneath other items, he found the mummified corpse of a child.
It's fucking sick. Especially, I've got a 6-year-old kid, and it's just like, I can't imagine ever doing that.
Is there any way?
I couldn't do that to a fucking cat or a fucking rat or a pigeon.
No, in which you could like deprive a child of your own of food.
So she didn't even send us to school because there was no school wondering where the kid was.
No, exactly.
Like, where was the government? Like, to be fair, the government should have been like, why haven't you sent your kid to school yet?
There should be.
That kid should have been to school by then.
The weird thing, another twist in this story is that it said that the defendant worked as a care assistant in the past, and there was evidence that she had undergone some sort of first aid training. So she was a carer.
Yeah, well, care of elderly people, isn't it? That usually means, that's horrible.
It's just nasty. She's been found guilty of manslaughter by gross negligence on 2 grounds: that she failed to feed him adequately and then failed to seek medical assistance for him.
This is like a pro-capital punishment fucking story, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Like, that woman doesn't deserve to be alive. Where was her family?
Well, the father, apparently, they'd separated years ago, and he actually lives elsewhere, but they don't actually say where.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? but also it said that he was violent towards her, so that's why she didn't want him to have anything to do with the kid. That's why he wouldn't have known about it.
Oh, okay. And was she taking all the fucking frustration of him out on the kid, though?
But also claiming child benefit as well.
And free money, isn't it?
It's just...
Some people, that's all they care about. They don't...
It's just disgusting.
If she doesn't get killed in prison, I'm not going to be happy.
It's not nice.
Yeah.
Just horrible.
Yeah,
and it's not the only baby death story that's happened this week either. I did read somewhere. I didn't want to bring another one to the plate.
No.
But there was a kid who got stuck or trapped in a baggage carousel at one of the airports, and eventually died.
Well, like parents let the kid play on it or something.
I guess so, or maybe it like snuck on there while they were trying to look for. You know, I mean, I don't. You know, it's just nasty. But this woman. This woman, what's her fucking name? Amanda Hutton from Bradford. Just an absolute monster. And I just thought it needed highlighting because there's so many like twists to this story. Yeah. It's like, well, you know, she's claiming that she was embarrassed to ask for help or scared when the kid died. But then it comes out that she'd actually refused to feed it.
Yeah, like that.
I mean, the thing is, can it still be postnatal depression that far after birth?
If she's never had any help, yes. If it's never gone treated, yeah, you can.
Yeah, and obviously, because the husband wasn't there was no one else checking up to make sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Where was her whole family?
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't say anything like she's been disowned by the rest of her family. It doesn't say that there wasn't any...
like that. It is kind of like, it is fucking horrible and she should have sought help. But yeah, like you say, it could have been postnatal depression. But even still, I think even with postnatal depression, they still have... It wouldn't let it get that bad, I don't think.
Well, no. I mean, there comes a point, even, you know... Even if it gets to the point where the kid dies, which he did, she didn't call for any assistance.
No.
She then carried on claiming child benefit for this kid who had died 2 years previous. But he was also in a cot in her room.
Yeah.
Which was...
4.5 years old in a cot.
There's something...
As well.
Yeah, in baby grows.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's what I say, if it was still the size of a 9-month-old, like... How long was she starving that kid for? Oh, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nasty. And I'm sorry to bring it up, but, you know, sometimes these things, I think they need to be kind of addressed in a way because...
Yeah, either bring in capital punishment or fucking put more help out there for people. Because if it was a mental illness, like, someone should have known.
This is it, yeah, because...
People need educating more.
It could well be that she's mentally ill and she didn't know what she was doing, but the fact that she went and ordered pizza directly afterwards and then continued to claim on the child benefits for 2 years,
messed up.
Like that to me is calculating.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah, it's more than just having something wrong with you in the mental department. Yeah. But yeah, like no kid should be in the Western world should be put through that kind of thing. Like, what have they done to deserve that kind of treatment? Do you know what I mean? And also, if you can't look after your kid, if you find out that, you know, you're not prepared for it, you can go through counselling, you can go through kind of fostering or adoption or something like that. You know, just get help, man. Like, it's
that's
horrible shit. But needs talking about sometimes, you know? Life isn't all flowers and GTA 5.
No. Bit of death more close to home, I suppose, just quickly.
Yeah, go on.
But this is, a woman was found dead in Chatham.
Yeah. This was just down the road from me, essentially.
Yeah, Luton Road in Chatham. I've got 2 people at work that live there. They've been like questioned by the police, obviously, as witnesses.
Yeah.
But I think this woman, I don't really know what she was. She was an elderly Asian woman. I think she was doing a bit of last-minute shopping before she went on holiday or went over to visit family and just never turned up, and she was found in a shop basement.
Yeah, that's fucking weird, isn't it?
That's weird, yeah. But apparently my friend said he'd seen her around and she was always wearing gold.
Right.
So it's a bit like,
Yeah, I think she was actually quite well known in certain areas.
Oh, was she?
Like, you know, she's just one of those people that you see.
Yeah, people
If you know
know.
what I mean.
Yeah, and a lot of there's rumours going around the last couple of days that they might have found more bodies
Really?
in Luton Road, but
That's-
that's unconfirmed.
Yeah.
But that's like really close to home,
Yeah.
and I think that's like the third or fourth fucking
Mm-hmm.
murder in that area of Chatham in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's it always used to have a reputation, the Medway towns, didn't
Yes.
they?
Oh, definitely, and especially Luton Road area.
Yeah. But you kind of it's shocking still to hear
Yeah,
that
it
these
is.
things do go on. Like I say, I think she was a bit of a not a character, but she was one of those people that if you lived in a certain area, then you kind of you knew who she
Yeah.
was, kind of thing.
She was a
because
familiar
was always
face.
about, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, that kind of shocked
terrifying. Isn't
shocked
it?
me, yeah, because it's well, why? Like,
Yeah,
what's,
well,
what's
that's
the
the thing, they need
motivation?
to
This is the
kinda-
thing, and also, have we found out who owns this shop yet?
And people do know like who owns the shop. I don't think it's the shop owners because
No.
like 4 people have been arrested and I think charged. I think
Right.
like this is all unconfirmed. This is just rumours going around. Obviously, because of where I work, there's people from that area. They will come in with different stories. But
Yeah.
yeah, this story does say 4 people have been arrested, and I think they have been. No, I don't know. I don't know if the trial's even happened yet, but they found people that they think it is, and it's just a bit. It's a
Yeah.
bit close to home and a bit dark.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
So
Death on ABH Pod this week.
yeah, ooh,
Fuck this shit.
didn't have this down as this episode.
No.
but you know, like I say, life isn't all flowers. Sometimes you got to deal with the darker side of life, and we like to try and
Yeah. We'll
Point
try
these
and bring it
things
back
out.
up again in the next
maybe.
minute. Pick a number between 1 and 7 that isn't number 2.
Hold on, wait, no,
Oh,
I'm
no,
going to
you've
go a
got
bit
one more bit.
lighter.
Oh,
I'm going to
okay,
go a bit
good.
lighter before we get in. Right, there's a sign that you might have noticed about, you know, most places from public toilets to any sort of public building, really, in
Yeah.
the Western world, I suppose, and it's the symbol of the international symbol of access.
Yes.
Now, for those of you who don't recognise that, it's the disability symbol. You know,
Yeah, the blue badge.
the blue square with your little stick man sat in a wheelchair.
With his
well-
arms outstretched.
Which, yeah, with arms out in front.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say something really disrespectful, but I won't. But yeah, so this group in America, the Accessible Icon Project, they've decided that this symbol doesn't work for them anymore. They're gonna they want to change it. They want to make they want to make it more dynamic, and so they've put forth a prototype symbol.
Yeah, I
I
suppose like an early
like
design.
a design for the new symbol of access, international symbol of access, and essentially it looks like a Paralympian now.
It does,
doesn't
yeah. It looks like he's racing.
If I could turn my laptop round without causing a massive fuss, I
I'll
would.
stick it up.
We'll
I'll
put
try.
the
I'll put a pin in it and try and remember to stick it up.
we'll put
Like here,
pictures of it up
or
on the
here, or
yeah
somewhere.
on the YouTube video. We'll put them up on the website, and I might post one on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what you think about it, basically. But instead of the upright position of the stick man with the arms out in front, it's now more like the person in the wheelchair is leaning forward with his arms outstretched at the
Ready
back, as
to
though he's
wheeling.
in the motion of wheeling, but really fast wheeling, because you don't often see people in regular disabled people in wheelchairs leaning forward and really
No,
gunning
trying to pick
it,
up
do
any
you?
sort of speed. But
So I don't know whether I don't think
they've
that
actually changed the blue as well.
they've
which
made it a kind of lighter blue, not so
Yeah.
bold.
No,
It's
no,
more
it's
muted.
definitely not bold.
Muted
Um,
is what I'd say.
the only thing is,
Hmm.
are they going to change the icon for the like gents and ladies then?
Well, yeah.
Like, cause it's pretty much in a T pose, isn't it? Just kind of stood
Hmm.
stiff and straight with their arms. Are we going to be in like a staying alive pose or fucking?
Or maybe the thing is
It's
they've
the
got-
rounded stick figure they've gone for now, which is like popular in loads of little games, flash games and stuff, isn't it? The rounded hands
Yeah,
and
it's
the rounded legs.
not just a stick man with little square
sharp
arms,
edges.
squared off arms and squared off feet.
It's
and
rounded.
stuff.
I was just thinking, are they just going to change like the symbol for men and women now as well?
But also, is it PC to still have the little woman stick man in a dress?
No, well, exactly. the stick woman.
Stick person.
The woman stick man.
The woman stick man.
But yeah, it is a bit. I don't know. I like the icon. I mean, it don't really make much difference to me. I still know what it is because it's still close enough to the original universally recognised symbol.
Yeah, you can still see it's a person sat
You're
in
not
a
going to think
wheelchair.
it's someone with a big round leg, are you? Like a big circle leg.
No.
You can still tell what it is. So yeah, fucking change it.
What I will say is this one's head is detached from its body, unlike the proper one that's being used at the moment.
Yeah, is that a bit wrong as
Doesn't
well?
have a neck.
No.
But yeah.
It's
So that's something to consider. We'll, like I say, we'll pop the picture up on the Facebook and the blog and everything, and you can tell us.
Give us your opinion.
Yeah, tell us what you think about it, and then maybe we'll get some sort of consensus from our listenership that we can send off to the Accessible Icon Project
Surveys.
so that we can tell them what the Anywhere But Here listeners think.
Yes.
And they will take our considerations into our opinions into consideration, I'm sure.
Because we have such an influence on people.
Yes.
We'll go.
Warning, Anywhere But Here podcast contains humour. At least that's what they call it.
Yeah.
We do sometimes.
Yeah.
So, one of the main things that I wanted to talk about, instead of, all that stuff in the news back there.
That we didn't consider comedy at all.
No, we didn't think that was comedy, so don't take that out of context. Was the fact that because we've been doing a lot of banked shows and a lot of themed shows lately, there's been some stuff that we've missed, and I think we tried to kind of do a bit of that on the last episode. Was a lot of news articles that people have found us, and actually some of those news articles were ones that people have found us. Like the Kanye West one was from Joe. There was something else I'm sure we were supposed to have read.
I think the disability one was Joe as well.
Was it? Yes.
Because I just looked at Twitter as I was closing my iPad.
Yeah.
I cheated.
And we had a couple from Loz as well this week.
Did we? I don't know if we did.
But I don't know.
Don't know if we got to them, did we?
No.
No. Whoops. Sorry, Loz. Anyway.
Maybe next week. But yeah, some of it also was not the fact that we've just missed out on stuff that people have been telling us, but some of the stuff that we've been doing. And I've gone to the cinema a lot this year.
Yes, you have.
And there have been a lot of films that I haven't been able to get round to actually telling people about. Not that I'm sure they need telling about them because they're advertised all over the place. But my opinion is valid.
Yes.
And we looked through this massive list that I compiled from like April, but then we realised that we talked about a lot of them. So actually, we're going to go, I think, from the Wolverine, aren't we?
Yeah, because before that was Pacific Rim, Man of Steel, which we did do.
We did do quite in depth, actually. I
think.
Yeah. So the Wolverine was the latest film about the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman came back and did his brooding.
Yeah, and did I read somewhere that he didn't like it?
I don't know.
Shit. I was looking through that list and I'm sure there was something about him not liking the last Wolverine movie, or maybe he meant the original Origins.
The Origins one I didn't think was great.
But yeah.
But this one actually was much better, I thought.
Yeah. I was a bit worried when I was looking at when I saw the trailer and it was saying about how he wanted to take away his powers, and I was like, whoa. I don't know if that was the story arc in the comics at all, was it?
I'm not sure, if I'm honest. I'm not a big X-Man comic book reader.
No.
But yeah, the thing that bothered me about it was that big metal samurai thing at the end.
But I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, but it was in the trailer.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not giving anything away.
No.
It wasn't in the trailer. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, it doesn't really link in with any of the other X-Men type things from the beginning, because it starts off and he's being held in a Japanese prisoner of war camp right next to Hiroshima when the bomb goes off.
Right.
But that wasn't.
Did they say how he got there?
No.
They didn't explain how he got there?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was just there. As he does, he wanders around because apparently he's immortal.
But yeah, he is, just because I have heard that before. Because
I knew he was in disgust.
It was in the X-Men Origins, because he was like samurai at one
Yeah.
point, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that's
Because
where
he's
this
indestruct-
links in.
It's not so much indestructible, it's the fact that his body has the ability to heal itself. So obviously, as his cells are dying, they're
They
regenerating.
replace, yeah.
So he's...
But I
The only
actually
problem
hadn't
I've-
got that from any of the other films. I hadn't
Oh,
got the
okay.
fact because I didn't watch First Class.
No, I had heard that somewhere before. But the only problem I've got, and I always have, with immortal beings, other than vampires, which is fair enough because you get turned at a certain age and you do stay that certain age. You
Yeah.
see children vampires. How did Wolverine to get to be that age?
I don't know. He
Because
wasn't
why
born
is it?
that
Why
age,
is it that
surely.
he stopped at that age?
I don't know. Because surely he's always had that mutation. He didn't always have the adamantium, but he did always have the regenerative.
And aging is to do with your cells dying and regenerating.
Yeah. So surely he should just have stayed an infant.
I would have thought.
You know.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you're right. There is a flaw.
Or maybe
somewhere.
that's when his powers manifested themselves.
Maybe.
Let's fucking get out of it that way.
Who knows? Yeah. But actually, the main thrust of the story was all right. It was a bit kind of like the last few superhero movies have been, like Iron Man 3 and The Dark Knight Rises. There wasn't a lot of him doing... Well, I don't know. There was a lot of Wolverine stuff, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it was him being kind of... It wasn't entirely action-packed. Like
No.
when I came away from it, the first thing that I thought was, well, there wasn't a lot of action. But then when you think back to it, there actually was quite a bit, but there was also quite a bit of drama as well. And it's basically he kind of saves this Japanese army officer from the nuclear blast.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, okay.
he's being kept in an underground bunker
Yeah, yeah.
because, you know, he can escape and he's double R'd.
Double R bastard.
Yeah, and so he kind of like as all the guards are seeing this bomb drop, they let loose all the prisoners, and he doesn't want to go. Wolverine doesn't want to go, so he stays in the bunker. And then all the guards just like carry themselves with their swords.
Right, yeah.
And this one guard doesn't want to do that, so Wolverine jumps out, helps him down the hole, survives the blast. Flash forward many years to the present
The
day.
problem is, how did that guard get out of the radioactive area?
Well, yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, he's got a little.
So
bit
I
of
always find these little fucking
yeah.
things to
No, I know the
focus on that
radioactivity should have killed
are
everyone.
not important to
Yeah.
the...
But yeah, flash forward many years, and he's dying. This old fella who was the
guard.
soldier,
Yeah.
and calls Wolverine to say goodbye, essentially, and sends out his granddaughter to find him. And Wolverine's been living as a hobo in the hills in Canada. There we go.
Oh, okay.
That's a
Yeah,
whole
there's-
month of yawning.
Yep. I was trying to stifle it for the last 10 minutes, but it didn't work.
And yeah, so he goes back to Japan. He meets this guy. This guy is like, well, I can take away your pain because you're pained, and I'd quite like to live forever if you don't mind. Thanks very much.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's who it was in the video.
That's right,
The
yeah.
trailer was the guy saying,
Yeah, and Wolverine essentially tells him that you don't want what I've got. Fuck off.
"Oh,
kind of thing,
okay."
and wanders away. And then Yakuzas get involved, and there's a big thing. There's also another villain called is it Scorpion? I think she's called. She's a woman, and she's basically a bit kind of serpenty.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's got a big long tongue, and
right.
she sheds her skin at one point as well.
Oh,
It was
weird.
kind of weird. Viper, that's her name. Viper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was shit. If I'm
Oh,
honest.
really?
Like, yeah, she was. She wasn't really utilised in any specific way. She could induce toxin. She was a bit like Poison Ivy.
Oh, okay.
And she looked like Uma Thurman
Oh, really?
as Poison Ivy.
Oh, okay.
And got more and more. The further the film got, her suit changed. Like, she was in a suit and looked normal at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then she put on this like green outfit at one point.
Bit Poison Ivy,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then right at the very end, it was all kind of PVC-ish and green,
Oh,
just
okay.
like the
Oh, for
Poison Ivy.
fuck's
And she
sake,
had
yeah.
red hair instead of blonde. Then
right.
she had no hair because she shed her skin.
Oh, okay.
It was all a bit strange.
Bit of an interesting character. but
Yeah.
Not.
But yeah, and then basically there's this big fight between Wolverine and this massive metal samurai thing,
Right.
which is made of adamantium, obviously, the
Right.
thing that his bones are made of. So
It would
he
be.
can't beat it, and it can't beat him, except that it heats up its big adamantium sword, and can then kind of
Yeah, you said I remember that.
then it can kind of
try.
beat him. But of course it doesn't because
No, because
you
it's
can't
Wolverine.
beat Wolverine. But yeah, so it was a weird one. It was all right. It was better than Wolverine.
Yeah.
Origins.
Yeah.
X-Men Origins
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Yeah. It's not a nice thing to call him.
Oh, it's rubbish, isn't it? And that had too many people in it as well. That had like Deadpool, who
Nah, it didn't have
deserves his
Deadpool.
own. No, it wasn't the real Deadpool.
No, he's getting his own movie, isn't he?
Well, it's been touted since that film. They've been talking about it since that film.
I think there has been more about it, and he's going to break the third wall. He is actually going to address the camera and stuff.
Yeah, it would be good if they did him properly, because that would be amazing. But yeah, it was good, but it wasn't brilliant. The best thing about the whole movie was the pre or during the title sequence,
Right.
which is where Logan's walking through an airport, and then everyone stops, and then Magneto's there. And then Patrick Stewart comes in as Xavier.
Oh, okay.
And
That's awesome.
then that kind of sets in motion the Futures Past storyline, which is going to be where they all come into play, which is the new X-Men from the First Class, that cast, and the old X-Men cast. They're all going to be in the new X-Men films.
Awesome.
Because it's going to take place over various timelines, so they're going to need everyone.
Yeah.
Which is going to be pretty cool. But I need to go back and watch First Class because I haven't seen that yet.
Have you not seen First Class?
No, it's
That's
supposed to be really good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
I have seen that one. That is very, very good.
Then there was The World's End, which was the Simon Pegg.
That's
Nick
the Simon
Frost,
Pegg one. That's not.
Edgar Wright directed movie, the third in the Cornetto trilogy, which 5 friends go on a pub crawl when they're at university, get wasted and don't make it to the end, which is the final pub is called The World's End.
Yeah.
And many years later, one of them hasn't grown up. He's in AA.
Simon Pegg.
Yeah, Simon Pegg's character. And goes round and rounds them all up. And they all go on this pub crawl one last time. But things have changed. And the town is a bit weird. And all the people there are,
Hot Fuzz style.
A little bit, yeah.
I've seen the extended trailer,
Yeah.
which kind of tells you a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
And basically what's happened is, the people of the town have been body snatched, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's aliens. And
Which is just brilliant.
yeah.
It's just like as far as those films go, that is just perfect for that.
And carnage,
Just Edgar Wright, it just isn't like Attack the Block's kind of alien,
yeah,
but weird sort of English.
very
proper
English alien
yeah.
takeover stories.
And Hot Fuzz is like the Secret Society, which is like it's all supernatural style sort of things, isn't it?
basically.
Yeah, because Shaun of the Dead obviously is.
Shaun of the
zombies.
Dead is the ultimate. I think nothing's
I
going to
don't
top
think
Shaun of the Dead. That's
anything's
the thing.
gonna be
like
as
Hot
good as
Fuzz
that.
was bloody good, but it was no Shaun of the Dead. And
Yeah.
I think World's End as well is good, but it's no Hot Fuzz,
Oh,
and
really?
it's no
Definitely no
Shaun of the Dead. It's good,
but it's the weakest of the three.
It's again, like I was saying last week, the law of diminishing returns. You kind
Yeah.
of get these things, and I wonder.
Because people were expecting a lot of it
Yeah,
as
again, you expect so much of these guys when they work
well.
together.
The thing is, like with Shaun of the Dead, years and years and years he had to write that and he honed it and stuff. And then because people want stuff so quickly, you've got less time to write.
It's like bands when they bring out their first album. It's like, oh, this is amazing, and their second one is like, oh, well, they had to knock that out in 2 years, so it's
It's not going to be as good.
And then the clever ones go away for 5 years and write another brilliant third album.
Yeah, because that's how it used to work. Like nowadays, like bands have to release an album every year or every 2 years. Like that never used to happen.
It didn't, no.
So
Although saying that, the Beatles used to knock out an album every 6 months.
Yeah,
and they're all regarded as classics, aren't they?
I don't have anything against the Beatles, but a lot of their songs, kind of Beach Boys style, sound very similar.
Well, they all came from rhythm and blues anyway, didn't they?
Yeah.
They started out as a covers band at the end of the day.
Wow, there you go.
You know,
But
what can we say? So yeah, World's End was good. I would definitely, it's a fitting end to the trilogy.
Yes.
But I wouldn't say it's the strongest by any shot. Then there was Alan Partridge, Alpha Papa. I don't know whether I mentioned that or not. Really,
No,
now
I
I'm
don't.
saying it.
No, I think you mentioned it you were talking to someone on Twitter about it. I
Yeah,
believe.
maybe.
I've never liked Alan Partridge, but I saw the trailer for Alpha Papa and I thought it looked fucking incredible.
Yeah,
it
this is
actually
the thing.
looks
Like,
brilliant.
I can't stand a lot of Alan
I
Partridge.
will actually. I'm just going to interject. I haven't seen any of these films.
No, I'm
So,
trying. This is the thing.
Like
I'm trying
the ones
not to-
previous, I have
Yeah.
seen some of them, which was Man of Steel and Pacific Rim, and that's it actually.
Yeah.
Out of this whole list,
But yeah, Alan Partridge was brilliant.
It is,
Honestly,
it's good
I
as-
would. It's probably it was better than The World's End. I thought it was
Yeah.
funnier, and it was laugh out loud fun the whole way through. I
yeah.
fell about
Even the
laughing.
trailer, I was pissing myself laughing
Yeah,
at. I can't
and it's
remember
got
what
Cole
it was.
Meany in as well. And anything with Cole Meany is good
Who's
in
he?
my book. He was Chief O'Brien in The Next Generation.
No, I'm not Star
The
Trek.
Irish guy,
I'm not a Trekkie.
Pat. Just sack Pat.
Oh,
No,
I'm not a Star Trek.
No. That
Oh.
was the Alan Partridge thing.
Oh yeah, but I've not seen
The trailer.
Alan Partridge. Oh yeah, you probably did see him in the trailer, but I don't know. I will watch it and go, oh yeah, him.
Yeah,
I know him.
You'll have seen him in loads of stuff. He was in Con Air as well for a bit.
I think I know. I think I can
The
picture
one
him
with the
now.
car. That's my car. With the number plate that was
Seen it
ass
once.
kicker. No,
Oh
okay,
my God,
fair
like
enough.
this is like names and shit. I can't.
Righto.
I could give Sean from Nerd Church
But
a
it
run
was
for his
brilliant,
money.
Kick-Ass 2, I think I might have mentioned a bit
Not
of
even
it.
seen the first one of that.
No.
It does look
The
good,
first
but-
one's brilliant. The
Yeah.
first one is awesome. It was my favourite film of 2010.
Right.
Kick-Ass 2,
They took
it's watered down, I felt. I didn't
Yeah,
think
I
it was-
actually did. I'm glad you said that because when I was looking, there was an article about a couple of scenes they've actually taken out of Kick-Ass 2, which might have helped, like give it the edge back. Which was there was a rape scene.
Really?
Yeah, it was in the. I don't know if it's based on an actual comic. Oh, I can't remember.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, it is based on a comic, but I don't know if it was based on an actual story from the comic. But there was a rape scene that they cut out because the guy was like, "Oh, I don't like in a comic. You need that to inject that sense, that feeling, but he doesn't have to do that in the film." And then there was one about a dog killing a dog or something.
Oh, right.
But they
That would
took
have
that
made
out.
sense.
They took that killing dog.
Yeah,
was a bit
I can't see where the rape would have come into it.
But
I can see-
they removed a couple of scenes, but maybe that would have given it its edge because, like you said, it softened a bit.
Yeah, it didn't seem as edgy as the first one. That's
But
all.
maybe it's because the first one.
Was so edgy. And
Well,
so,
no, because it was the first really edgy film. It's kind of numbed you. So when the second one comes out, it's probably just as bad as the first one.
Yeah, I mean
But
because
because you've already had
point,
the first one. There's not that shock.
but as well, like again, it's not a superhero film because most of it, like the only interesting character really is Hit Girl.
Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz,
Yeah,
and for the most part of the film, she's trying to be a normal kid. She's not being Hit Girl. And
Oh,
that
okay.
again is like it seems to be the theme with superhero films at the moment, like
where
this
they're
year.
trying not to be the hero.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but there is this brilliant scene where she's being bullied by some of the cool kids
Right, yeah.
at school, and she's got this what she calls a sick stick
All right.
that she was given by her dad, and she just like prods these girls, and they just explode
Vomit.
from both ends,
Nice.
and that's quite graphic.
Yeah.
But that was probably the best bit in the whole film, if I'm honest. Yeah, the first one's brilliant. The second one's a little bit of a letdown, mainly because I think the first one was just based on the one graphic novel, whereas this one is
Oh.
based on Kick-Ass 2 and also the Hit Girl series of comics.
Oh, really?
So
They
it's a
kind
load of strands being put into one
Right, yeah, yeah.
narrative. Elysium I kind of covered last week.
You didn't. You
Well,
didn't
no.
want to talk to me.
No,
You didn't want
but
to
you've not seen
spoil
it still,
no.
have you? So I'm not going to spoil it again.
No, because that's one I am really interested in. I
Yeah.
do really want to see, but obviously it's not at the cinema anymore, is it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I've got to wait
So I've
because
got to
I
wait.
don't torrent things.
No.
But Elysium, you don't want to cover,
No,
right?
no, because I want you to see it before I can say anything about it.
Okay.
And then this week I went to see Rush,
Yeah.
which is the story of James Hunt and Nicky Lauda, two Formula One drivers from the 1970s.
Yes.
Doesn't sound like your most mainstream film in
Oh,
the world.
I read your review on this. Actually.
Yeah. But it's directed by Ron Howard, and he's done stuff like Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind and Forrest Gump and loads of fucking brilliant
So
films.
yeah, you've got to imagine it's quite good.
Like, the Formula One sport has not been covered well in
Film, no.
film at all, like since the 60s really. There was one film called Grand Prix which was quite good but massively dated nowadays.
Yeah.
Not that this is not a story from 40 odd years ago.
Yeah, but it's
it's been given a bit of a retelling. Sylvester Stallone tried an IndyCar film in 2001 called Driven.
Yeah.
And that is utterly shocking.
Wow.
But yeah, this is about James Hunt is a kind of playboyish type, essentially a bit of a spoiled brat, really, an upper class toff who just wanted to do racing because he didn't want to do anything else.
That's played
by Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, an Australian.
Yes, with a wandering accent.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing I picked up in your review,
yeah,
Chris Hemsworth, the Australian, played the English guy, yeah? Mm-hmm. Now, the guy who played the Australian guy, what nationality is he?
Austrian.
He's Austrian.
No, he's not Australian.
I thought it's... I read it. I read it as Australian. I was going to say...
No, Niki Lauda is Austrian, but he's being played by a Spanish actor who is also German.
What?
He's dual nationality.
Okay, yeah. So when I read it, I was skim reading, so I read it as Australian. I was like, would it have made more sense for Chris Hemsworth in that role? So he could have had an actual accent.
No, he's an Austrian. And basically what happened, these two were kind of rivals all the way up through like the junior formulas, like Formula 3 and Formula 2, and they both make it into Formula 1.
Yeah.
And they continue their rivalry. And it all it comes to a head where they are driving in a German Grand Prix at a track which is notoriously difficult to drive.
Yeah.
And it's pissing down with rain. And Lauda doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to race, tries to get everyone on his side, but he's not a very likeable person.
So nobody...
and then James Hunt's just like, well, fuck you. It depends on how good you drive. Let's see who can drive the best. Who else wants to drive with me? And they all go, yeah, go on then. And they race, and eventually Lauda has this horrific accident. It's not a spoiler because if you know
a true story.
Anything about the true story, you know that Niki Lauda was caught in an inferno. His car explodes, and it burns his entire face. 80%. What is it? The levels of burning.
Oh, degrees.
Yeah.
80-degree burn.
No.
What's it degree? Were you?
Like first degree.
Oh, first
burns.
degree burns.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say degrees, but 80 doesn't
Or is it
sound
third degree? Which is the worst? I can't remember which way around it. Anyway, in any
he
case,
got the worst.
He's fucking like in an 800 degrees Celsius fireball for like 5 minutes, and he is airlifted to hospital. He's given the last rites on his bed as they're trying to revive him and everything. And he's in the lead at that point in the championship. James Hunt goes on to win a load of races, brings it to within 3 points, by which point 2 months later, Lauda is out of bed, back in a car.
It's fucking insane. People back then,
they were just made of sterner stuff, weren't they? He got back in the car with all this burn damage to his face and scalp.
Yeah.
Gets back in the car and actually... takes the championship down to the last race. Yeah. And there's like 3 points in it. And again, it's raining really hard. But by this point, everyone's so invested, or the world is so invested in this this battle between Lauda and Hunt, that they can't postpone the race because the TV rights have already been sold.
Fuck's sake.
So they have to do the race. So they have to race.
Yeah.
And then and then things happen. But the most poignant thing about it is that although they fought the whole way through their career, they actually really respected each other.
Well, yeah.
And I don't think the film puts that across very well.
So that's the only thing that's really missing.
Yeah, there's a bit towards the end where when Lauda comes back, he's in a press conference. And he's being asked about his racing ability. And then one journalist asks him whether or not his marriage is going to last, because how can someone love you if you look like that?
Nice.
And to which he goes, I'm being serious. Because he's like, no, I'm being serious. Like, will your wife leave you? And so Lauda, because Lauda's quite an outspoken person anyway. Even now, he's like in his 70s and he's still quite sweary. They've got to be
Yeah.
very careful about having him on camera at these Grand Prix weekends. But he was like, and I'm being serious to you, fuck off, and then leaves the room.
Yeah.
And then on the way out, Hunt kind of calls this journalist aside. He's like, oh, I've got a thing. I've got something for you on that last question. Pushes him into a room and just beats the shit out of him.
Good.
And he's like, how do you think your wife's going to feel about your face now?
That's brilliant.
And then right at the end as well, they had this really touching bit just before the start of the next season where they're at an airport and they bump into each other and they have this nice little moment. But actually, when you see the stock footage of them from the 70s, they're not really at each other's throats as much as they were portrayed in the film.
No, but
They're
you've got
kind of
to...
chatting. Yeah, there's got to be a dramatic, device
Yeah,
there.
yeah, they have to do that in the film because, like, as much as you know the story and, like, obviously being a Formula One fan, you would still watch the film if it was an accurate portrayal.
Yeah, of course.
But for the general...
But obviously, yeah.
Like, they made a film to make money, so they've got to have a bit more drama in it than
And
there
the thing
actually
is,
was.
like, these two characters are very much like they were in the film. Like, James Hunt is a playboy.
Yeah.
He was partying and drinking.
They just exaggerate.
And shagging a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas Lauder is like, he used to go to bed early. He used to, spend all his time with the car, kind of making it better. And so that's where the dynamic is.
Yeah.
It's the characters, and that's what they've got to heighten in the film.
Have to exaggerate.
But it was bloody good. And
Good.
I think even
I kind of
people
want to
who,
watch that now.
people who aren't into Formula One will find it a really interesting,
Just a good story.
interesting story, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was real,
And it's a true story.
and there aren't many original ideas around anymore. It's not an original idea, but I just like biopics.
Yeah.
I think they're interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, ABCs.
Yeah. We kind of seem to do this now, don't we? Kind of spend 10 minutes. Oh, you fuck. I will stop. No, I won't. I'm just going to keep
No,
doing
just
it.
carry on, mate.
I'll just
yeah.
keep bashing the table. I know how much people like it. Try and get a rhythm going so people can dance. Sorry, I'm just fluffing because
Had for time. Had for
padding
time.
because I've got to get this up. Yeah, let's go.
The ABCs of ABH. What letters today?
You. Oh, you sound really happy with that, Tom. You.
I'm still thinking, if I'm
You're
honest.
still thinking. Do you want me to talk though? Because you might be listening. Mine, I mean, like, what can you do? I just thought the universe.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
It's just fascinating, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Like,
it is fascinating.
It's absolutely fascinating. Because when I was thinking about it, well, so how can I talk about it and make it seem interesting? And then I was just kind of coming up with like the whole thing, like just the scale. When you try to imagine the scale of it, you see these pictures. It's kind of like, oh, this is our Earth, this is our sun, this is like the same sort of the biggest planet or relation to in this galaxy or this solar system, and then you've got their sun, and they just keep going up and up and up, and like the Earth is just a little dot on this sun who's fucking humongous.
It's one of those things that I often think about and then can't.
And then your brain just explodes.
Like,
I was thinking, like, you got our Earth and you got our solar system, our little solar system with our 8 planets.
yeah,
Yeah, fucking Pluto, it just confuses things. You got our little solar system,
yeah,
and we're one solar system in this tail on our galaxy. And it's just like, and there's like hundreds of millions of other fucking
in
solar
our-
systems just in our tail.
Yeah.
And now our galaxy's got a couple of different tails with like these millions of, and that's just one.
And there are
That's just one galaxy.
and there are millions of galaxies out
And
there.
and there's like millions of galaxies everywhere. Like every picture you look at, pretty much every little speck of light is either a sun or a galaxy in the sky. And there's like millions of fucking or hundreds of thousands
planets.
of millions of galaxies, solar systems in those galaxies, and you're just like, and it just stretches infinite.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that's like there's fucking billions of stars you can't see with your eyes. It's just like.
Well, they don't even
fascinates
know whether
me.
they can see all the way across with the most powerful telescopes. I mean,
No.
It's-
I mean, you can't see past the center of our galaxy because it's so bright. Like it blocks And you just think there's a black hole
That's what I was going to say.
in
yeah.
the middle.
Yeah.
And you think as well, because like when you see pictures of galaxies and it's always dimmer towards the edge and brighter, that's because there's shitload of suns in the middle, just making this area
Yeah, there's
bright.
even more.
Just working their way out to the edge because we've been expelled, like, or we've been drawn in. It's just like,
One or the other.
that's mental.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the
are
theory
we
is
being
that,
expelled from a black hole, or are we going into a
yeah,
black hole?
that's it. No one really knows.
Oh.
Because they've only recently found out that in the middle of most galaxies are these supermassive black holes,
Yeah,
which is a bit terrifying, really.
it's just fucking like, it just blows your mind. I mean, like the thing is, you can if you're not really into it that much. I mean, like I love watching Brian Cox, the Wonders,
Yes.
Wonder series, like either the Wonders of the Solar System or Wonders of the Universe.
I've got.
He
those
makes
on
it more.
Blu-ray.
He makes it more accessible. I bet they look amazing, don't they, in Blu-ray? He makes it more accessible. Like he takes like to get a gauge on the scale of just our solar system. He uses rocks,
That's right.
and it's just like
And
That's
he uses
mad.
Lots of millions.
millions, and millions, and he uses lots of. Yeah.
He used to be in D-Ream.
Yeah, he's a fucking keyboard player. And he like stands on top of mountains and like under helicopters a lot to make his hair blow in the wind.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he makes it more accessible and makes like so it's easy to understand. And I mean, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson, just if you want your mind blown.
Yeah, he's a little bit more intellectual about it all.
Yeah, but like, once you've got a grasp of it, then you go and listen to him and he just blows your mind and goes, yeah, but what if? And you're like, oh my god. But yeah, sorry, we'll have to do that next. I think
possibly.
next week. But yeah, I the universe just fucking incredible. I've got like Stargazer's Handbook upstairs, and I've got no telescope
It's something.
because
Yeah,
I want to get into taking pictures of the night sky. But unfortunately, we live in an urban area. There's lots of lights.
and we also live in Britain where it's cloudy the majority of the time.
I always find myself kind of like, I always glance up quickly and like, oh, the sky's clear, and just look for stuff and just like, I fucking love it.
Yeah, there are certain points in the sky I can always find, like Orion. I can always find.
Yeah, Orion's is well in the winter.
Yeah.
Sky.
Yeah.
Top the road.
But yeah, no, I've always had a bit of an obsession with the space
Yeah.
and the universe and everything.
I just find it fascinating.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think of stuff that I'm really interested in for you, and I went, universe?
Mm.
Yes, the universe. Brilliant.
It's good.
Tom?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to piggyback off that, really.
Oh, yeah? You're going to
yeah.
use the universe as well?
No, I wasn't.
Oh.
I would prefer to piggyback off that than
okay.
the things that I've got in my mind.
Just mention
Yeah, because I don't know. It's divisive, but basically, I wanted to say something about Usain Bolt
Oh, yeah, you used to mention that.
because I don't get it.
No, I mean, it is impressive what he can do.
Of course it is.
But I
yeah.
understand
I'm bored of him,
Yeah.
and also
He's not a very nice
I
person.
don't. He doesn't come across like a very nice person. He doesn't. People think he's all humble and stuff, but I don't.
He's
I don't.
not.
I don't see that.
Not at all.
No, and I understand that
you look at the
sprinters.
celebrations at the end of races, you compare his to Mo Farah, because that's what everyone does.
Yeah, of course.
Mo Farah's looks humble, like he's genuinely
And he's
pleased
also one of
and
these
he's
people
really
who kisses
happy.
the ground and he like. Whereas
Yeah.
there's a lot of chest banging.
Yeah, and the thing is, he
and all
kind of
that
does like
in-
an M for Mo, whereas like Usain Bolt does like the Zeus pose.
a lightning bolt. It's supposed to be, isn't
It's
it?
like
That's
the
what-
Zeus pose,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
And he's comparing himself to a god, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a lightning bolt. He's
Yeah.
kind of pointing to the sky for
But
the lightning.
I
know
don't
what you
get
mean.
it. Like people rave about it. Jo loves him because she's into athletics.
I
like,
think
and
I do.
I'm into athletics as well. But
I watch him and I'm like, fuck.
I mean, it's
that man's
impressive. It
quick.
is impressive. He
Yeah.
shouldn't be able to run as fast as that for being as tall and as lanky as he is.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
it
true.
is very, very impressive. But just someone beat him, for fuck's sake. Take that smug smile off
Oh,
his
not with a
face.
club.
No. Well, no.
But you're not talking about his talent. You're talking about him.
Yeah. That's right. There was a documentary about him a little while back, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's so human," and so, no, he's fucking not. Like he
Yeah.
just came across like a bit of a dickhead. Like I'm probably going to regret saying all this. I'm probably going to catch shit from a load of people.
No,
but-
probably not. You might be surprised, and people might agree with you. Like I said, I was kind of surprised when you said it, but I did kind of go, I can see what you mean. I do understand.
I just, again, it's that whole thing of like stuff being made such a big deal of that I instantly am like, I'm
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
try and find flaws in this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's a very pessimistic way of looking at things, I suppose.
It's probably more on your part than theirs. There really isn't it?
But also, he does come across like a dick.
Yeah. Well,
I just have a problem. It's not envy or anything, because I don't want to be a sprinter.
you just don't think he's as special as people make out.
Like, he does a job for like 10 seconds. I'm sure he puts in way more training than that.
Yeah,
I'm being very flippant.
Yes.
But yeah, not my cup of tea, really. I prefer to talk about the universe.
Yeah. Something that is impressive.
Yes, something that's
much grander scale.
Impressive, and you can't even comprehend the scale of it.
It's fucking insane.
There's a film about Stephen Hawking coming out at some point.
Oh, is
that's
there really?
narrated by him.
Oh.
Like a documentary or something.
That could be annoying. For 90 minutes.
Maybe. But it's got lots of clips of The Simpsons and Futurama in it. So.
Oh, is he really?
Because he's always on those, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very... I like him. He's very... He understands that...
Well, this is it.
People can take a comedic approach to it and he doesn't get offended by it.
But the thing is, any way in which he can teach people about what he is interested in, he will take it. And if that means taking the piss out of himself on The Simpsons, then that's fine. And I want to read desperately A Brief History of Time.
Yeah, I do. I don't think I'll be able to take it in. No. Actually, if you want your mind blown, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Like in the universe.
Yeah. So go out and
Brian
buy
Cox
that,
or Brian Hawking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Neil deGrasse
Brian
Tyson.
Hawking?
Brian Hawking? Brian Cox or Stephen Hawking. Like that.
So get busy. Go to abhpod.com, go to the Amazon banner, buy A Brief History of Time.
Yeah,
buy
yourself some
The
books.
Wonders of the Universe and The Wonders of the Solar System on Blu-ray, because they look amazing.
Yes.
Maybe, if you're that way inclined, just have a little smoke of something before you watch it. Believe me.
Oh,
I'm
really?
Sure, well, no, I haven't done that.
I was going to...
But I can imagine that it would blow your mind even further.
Or scare you.
Or that, yeah. You'll start thinking about your own mortality and how insignificant we all are and how insignificant podcasts are. I don't know.
On that note.
But yeah, go to abh.com, abhpod.com, go to the Amazon banner, buy that kind of shit. Expand your mind.
Yes. Do it.
But yeah, with that, we'll sign out. So for Anywhere But Here this week, I've been Tom.
I've been Ant.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Anywhere But Here podcast. Well, that's an hour of your life you won't get back.